Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Umi Roisatil Jannah. I'm from E-Class of History of English Literature. In this video, I'm gonna explain my presentation about Old English Literature. There are some important points to know about Old English Literature, started from background, the historical figures, the characteristics, genres and themes of poetry, and features. Okay, now we will continue to the next slides. The first slide is background. The Old English literature, often known as Anglo-Saxon English literature. The period began in 5th century AD and known as the Vikings. In this Old English literature, there are historical figures and its characteristics, genres and themes, features and prose. To sum up the main point of Old English literature, this part will be clearly explained in the next slides. The second slide is the historical figures. The first one is Caedmon, the second is Beda, the third is Cynewulf, the fourth is Alfred, the fifth is Ragnar Lothbrok, the sixth is Harald, the seventh is Rollo. Those all figures use ideology of the Vikings by Anglo-Saxon, and their art of words are prose or poetry. The third slide is the characteristics. The historical figures' characteristics are conducted in literary artworks such as prose or poetry. The poetry represented by the Beowulf and Cynewulf. It divided into two groups represented by Beda and Alfred either. The first one is pagan poetry, the second is religious poetry. The next is the fourth slides is genres and themes of poetry. There are some types of poetry in these slides. The first one is heroic poetry, the second is elegiac poetry, the third is riddles poetry, the fourth is Christian poetry, the fifth is classical poetry, the sixth is Latin poetry, the next is biblical paraphrase poetry, and the last is original Christian poetry. Okay, we will continue to the next slides, and this is the part slides of Old English literature. Features. There are some features of Old English literature. The first one is caesura, the second is variation, the third is alliteration, the fourth is simile and metaphor. And the next one is kinds of prose. The first one is Christian prose, the second is sacred prose. That's all my presentation. Thank you so much for your nice attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.